Hey guys, welcome back to the Reed Homestead. Patrick again. Today we're gonna talk a little about foraging in the yard for mushrooms and other things like that. In North Carolina, where we live, you got ringless honey mushrooms that are very common, and then the common puffball, which grows in the yard. This one I got yesterday, had to clean it out a little bit. This is 766 grams of mushroom right here, taken from the front yard. These are ringless honey mushrooms. What I do is I got a full 5-gallon bucket of the mushrooms this year. Make sure your bucket is food grade service bucket. You can get them at Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever. It'll have food grade labeled on it. So I got a full 5-gallon bucket of ringless honey mushrooms. They kind of look like chanterelles, but you'll see that the gills underneath aren't solid. They flex, so the gills move. They're malleable, if you will. So that's how you know it's a honey mushroom. Some have rings around the stem. That's a ringed honey mushroom. If it doesn't have like a bulbous ring around the stem, it's called a ringless honey mushroom. Totally edible. You'll find them growing around stumps and things like that out in your yard or in the woods around dead trees. They're great, nature's probiotic. That's what mushrooms are. So what you do is you get a bucket, 5-gallon bucket, fill it up. That's what I did. Fill it up with water, give it a good rinse, get all the grass and whatever, all the impurities out, bring it in, bring it to the sink, do it again, rinse it off. Then you just start processing it. You can cut some of the stem off where it was meeting the soil, cut that part off. Then you want to saute it in butter. I use garlic salt and butter, little soy sauce, and it'll release all that juice out of the mushroom, and then it'll suck all that juice back up, and then you can just chop it up. I put mine in freezer bags, kind of flatten it out so you can break pieces off as you need it. I also ran about 5 trays of mushroom through a dehydrator. My son's over here mimicking what I'm saying. So I ran 5 trays through a dehydrator, and then once it was dehydrated, just ran it through a food processor, just using the top, the slicer part, and you'll get a full jar of fresh honey mushroom. And then with this, what I did with this, same thing. I ran this through the dehydrator. This is honey mushroom as well. The difference was I put soy sauce in the bag with a little garlic salt. You can still see some of the garlic salt in there, and a little black pepper, just a hint of onion powder. So ran that in the dehydrator. It took a while because it was wet, obviously, from the soy sauce. I ended up moving it to our oven. Our oven has a hold feature on it, so if you're baking, the lowest it goes down to is 170, which is not good for dehydrating anything. It's too hot. But it does have like a warming feature, or it's called hold, HLD. That's about 120, 130, which is perfect for dehydrating. So I got these, finally got these in the oven. It only took about an hour, less than an hour, for it to totally dehydrate. And I also did some hot peppers that way in the oven. Just the warming feature, or hold HLD feature. I mean, again, probably an hour or two and they were done. They weren't burnt. You don't want to burn what you're dehydrating. So let's take a look out in the yard. I did a video last year, chanterelle heaven. I mistook the honey mushrooms for chanterelle. But what you'll see happen is all of a sudden it rained pretty heavy about 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. And you'll see honey mushrooms start popping up in various different spots. The base of stumps or trees. This stump has always got a ton around it. You can see the remnants. It's that dark soil over here. That's where the honey mushrooms start growing, all around the base of this stump, surrounded. That's how I was able to get a 5 gallon bucket. Over at that stump they grew. And then there's another stump. I tried to take it out as much as I could, but you'll see right down there. You even got some more growing, little baby ones, but all of this, all in that area. You see that little baby one right there, little patch. All around this area was honey mushroom. Okay, so honey mushrooms are edible. If you've never had them before, then kind of ease into them till you're a little more accustomed to them. This is a turkey tail. It's used as medicine in Asia. I've never done that, so I haven't processed any of this or used it, but that's what that is, turkey tail. Below it is lichen. It's basically algae and fungus mixed, but you can definitely see, you see the, right here, that's algae. And then here is your turkey tail. Okay, so not sure what this is. I was watching Boondockery. He came across some of these. He said they're medicinal, but without knowing, I would kind of steer clear of that. But you can see there's more turkey tail growing on that branch. Hang on, get that flipped a little bit, see if it is. No, you can tell the turkey tail. See, that's just white. In nature, you want to kind of avoid just the white mushroom, because in North Carolina there's one white mushroom that's very poisonous. It'll get you violently sick. If you eat a lot of it, it could kill you. So you know, what you want to do is look up mushrooms in your area, common mushrooms. So we get a lot of the honey mushrooms down here. I want to take you out front so you can get a look at the common puffball. Again, this is just around the house. You know, we use mushroom. I use it in sauce. Pat, could you close that gate? Thank you. I use it in sauce. You could use it pizza sauce, spaghetti sauce. Use it in soup. Use it in eggs. So I harvest a lot of mushrooms. I stopped buying them from the store because we get so many in the yard. So this is the front yard. And what I did yesterday after I picked that 760 gram mushroom, I came back to where it was growing and watered. Maybe not the best idea because this one split. But again, that's the common puff mushroom. It's called common puff. It's got like a tan coat on the outside. It's white flesh in the middle. That's totally edible. And here's another one. Common puff. Now if it had spikes, it would just be a puffball. This is where the big one was picked. I cut the stem, left it there, so it'll come back next year. You want to always take note where your mushrooms are growing. in your yard, the ones that are edible. So we still got that one, this one, that there, and this. Another common puff. See, it's got tan outside, specks on it. That's how you know it's a common puff mushroom. Totally edible. So there's one up here that I thought was a common puff, and it may be, but it's not tan, so I'm not touching it. And it's white right here. Not familiar with that, so I'm just gonna leave that alone. Better safe than sorry. So 5-gallon bucket of honey mushrooms, 766 gram, one mushroom. That much weight. I'll be grabbing some of this oregano. I planted that years ago, and instead of just doing flowers, I actually did oregano and some herbs around the mailbox, and that usually stays alive year round. But I'll be, harvesting some of that, dehydrating it for spices. That's basically it. The idea here today is just to kind of give you an idea, especially in the South, about foraging, what's safe to eat, what's not. Honey mushrooms are safe to eat, very safe to consume. You kind of want to get used to them. You do want to process them and cook them, or like I did, throw them through a dehydrator or very low heat, 120, 130 in the oven. You could treat it with salt, garlic salt, little onion. I do mine with a little soy sauce in it. Very good. These mushrooms will last me over a year. So every spring and every summer, you're gonna get a harvest of mushrooms out in this yard. Just keep note of where you get them from, okay? Keep an idea of where they're growing in your yard, and when you harvest, leave some of the mushroom there at the end. Don't just pull it out of the dirt, because you're taking the spores and everything. Leave the bottom part in the yard, so you'll know where to go back in the fall. Say you're harvesting in the spring, you're going to know where to go back in the fall and harvest again in the fall. So 5-gallon bucket, we've still got plenty of common puff to go. I'm going to let these guys grow a little more and then get them up, process them, clean them out. You'll see a toad or a lizard might get to it and eat part of it. You can just cut around that. It's still edible. So there's our giant woodpecker friend. But that's foraging. Around your house, in the woods, down south, all this stuff you can get for free. You didn't even have to plant anything. So until next time, guys, this has been Pat with the Reed Homestead and little Pat from the Reed Homestead. Until next time, God bless. Have a great day. Okay.